Welcome everywhere to your American accent workout. And in this class, we're not working out your muscles, we're working out your mouth in order for you to sound more natural. Let's talk about the flap T sound because this is essential if you want to sound natural with American English. The rule is that the T between vowel sounds, it sounds like a soft D. So it's more of a the rather than a t. And that's why we have to think about your mouth because pronunciation is all about your mouth position. So here, let's look at this example. The meeting starts at about 11:30. So here, at is a T, but it's between two vowel sounds. Now notice it doesn't have to be the same word. We have at, about. But in American English, we have connected speech where we do not pronounce sounds like da, da, da. We don't say at, about. We connect those two together and it sounds like at about, at about, at about. The. So the soft D sound, the flap T, is you have your tongue in that T position, but you just don't push it out. At about, the about. Now you might be wondering, well, why does this happen in American English? It's simply to make it easier to pronounce the sounds. That's the only reason why these pronunciation changes happen. So you need to repeat these sentences out loud in order to practice pronunciation. If you're not saying these sentences out loud, you're not practicing your pronunciation. The meeting starts at about 11:30. At about, at about, at about, at about 11:30. Our next one, now we'll specifically review the flap T sound. So here, this is what? A bottle, bottle, bottle. Notice how I'm saying it. Bottle, bottle. And what is in the bottle? Water, water, water. Bottle, water. Now let's connect those together. I ordered a bottle of water with my lunch. So I pronounce the T's in bottle as a soft D. No American speaker is going to say bottle. Never. That's not how it's pronounced. And same with water. Water. That's standard pronunciation. Now, of, this is where it is reduced. Because remember, as I said, we don't have da, da, da. We have da, da, da. We connect our sounds. Bottle of water. Bottle of, bottle of, bottle of water. Now, you might hear a sound, bottle of water, bottle of water, bottle of water, bottle of water. So remember, you have to repeat these out loud. If you're not saying these out loud, you're not practicing your pronunciation. I understand right now, you might be at work, you might be in a public place and you don't want to say these out loud. That's fine, but you have to watch this video again when you're in a private space and you have to say these out loud. If you are not saying them out loud, you are not practicing your pronunciation. Let me be clear. Bottle of water, bottle, bottle, bottle of water. I ordered a bottle of water with my lunch. Okay, our next one with the flap T. Welcome. It's so great having you here for the first time, and I'm glad you're enjoying it. Make sure you open your mouth and say these sentences out loud. So here, she wrote a better, better. So it sounds like the word bed, better, better, der. So we have that that strong And then you just add a soft D. Dur, dur, better, 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 dur, better, better. She wrote a better version of the proposal. She wrote. Now notice, I didn't identify it, but notice the T in wrote is not pronounced. It's also that flap T, because if I do pronounce it, wrote, then it forces me to take a pause. Rhoda, she rhoda. So actually, I could have put the same, because wrote becomes rhoda, rhoda, rhoda. So let me put that up. So here, rhoda, she rhoda, she rhoda better, rhoda better, rhoda better, rhoda better. She wrote a better version of the proposal. How about this one? We'll discuss the details at a later date. At a later date. Now here, I can pronounce that T because it's at the end of a sentence. There's a period, so I have to take a pause anyway. Date, date, date. So that's why I underlined it, because you will hear that T. Some American speakers may turn it into a flap T, date, and not push it out. But if you're at a place where you take a natural pause, you can pronounce that T, date. But notice, add a later. So later with that T, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Let's meet later. Are you free later? Can I call you later? Later, dur. That soft D sounds, dur. At a later date. We'll discuss the details at a later date. Okay, so again, make sure you're practicing out loud. Similar, but the vowel sound is not the same. We have ladder, later, A. So this is a long A with later, 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 a long A sound. How about this? Computer, 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 dur. So that get comfortable with that soft dur, because there are a lot of words that end with T-E-R, and that's generally going to be a soft dur sound. Dur, dur, dur. The new computer, the new computer, computer. The new computer is faster than the old one. So notice faster, because we have a T, but it's not between two vowel sounds. So faster. You will hear that T because my mouth position is already in that S, fast. So when I open it to go to the next sound, which is the T, it just naturally produces the T sound. Faster, 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 faster. Computer, uder. But when you're at a vowel sound, your mouth position is different. So it's easier for your mouth to go to that soft D. Computer, computer, faster, faster. The new computer is faster than the old one. So it's a more pronounced T, but it's not the strongest T either. Yeah, matter. Will you have T's between two vowel sounds? So it will sound like soft D's. Matter, matter, matter. So you can say, let's discuss this matter later. Let's discuss this matter later. Matter later. Matter later. Matter later. Let's discuss this matter later. Or we can add this. It's better. Ignore what I just wrote. It's better to discuss this matter later. Oh, look at what I'm doing. And I don't know why I put a question mark at the end. It's not a question. Okay. It's better to discuss this matter later. Better matter later. How many words with a flap T can you put in one logical sentence? That can be your challenge. I have one logical sentence with 3 flap T's. Can you beat me? Can you create a better sentence? A better sentence with more flap T's? It's better to discuss this matter later. All right. Are you enjoying this lesson? Do you enjoy improving your pronunciation with American English, understanding spoken English? Well, then put yes, yes, yes in the comments. Of course, make sure you like this lesson and subscribe so you're notified every time I go live. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can find the link in the description. Or you can just go to my website. You'll see it right there. And if you want to keep studying natural English, real English, if you want to learn directly from native speakers and learn how to sound like a native speaker, you can do that in my program, the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium program where you'll get personalized support directly from me. So you can find the link in the description. Or again, you can go to my website. Let's move on to reduced or dropped vowels. The flap T, that's American pronunciation. If you're pronouncing a T, you're not going to sound American. Now, another way is reduced or dropped vowels. So let's talk about that. And first, oh, great. I'm so glad everyone's enjoying the lessons. Greeting all the way to Spain. Woohoo. I'm so glad. Awesome, everyone. Let's keep going with reduced or dropped vowels. So here, she bought a beautiful, beautiful chocolate cake for the office. Now, as we go on, you have to remember what we previously learned about pronunciation. So we already learned that the T between 2 vowel sounds is a soft D. So beautiful, the. Now you know why it's not beauty, T is beauta. Now, we're focusing on reduced or dropped vowels. This is because of syllable stress. In the English language, we have stressed sounds and unstressed sounds. Those unstressed sounds become more of a reduced schwa sound. Beauta, So this I in beautiful is not pronounced as an I. It's pronounced as a, beauta, beautiful. 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 And now chocolate, you do not hear that O in the middle. Make sure you don't pronounce that. Chocolate. Chocolate. Now that C between the 2 O's, that's pronounced as a K sound. So we go directly from the K to the L. Now, this ATE at the end is different. I ate. Okay, here. I ate. The past simple of eat is pronounced as the number 8. A, 8. It's that long vowel sound. 8, 8. Chocolate. But this ATE at the end of chocolate is pronounced as an unstressed lit, 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 lit. Chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. I ate chocolate for breakfast. So here, make sure you understand that schwa sound and the fact that vowels will become that schwa sound when they're unstressed. Chocolate, chocolate. The business. So where's that unstressed, reduced, or entirely dropped vowel sound? The business, business. The I is not pronounced. And this BUS is pronounced as biz, biz, is. So a voiced sound, z, z, business, business. The business conference. So we have two sounds, conference. And con is the stress sound. Conference. Data. Data. Conference. Conference. Data. The business conference starts tomorrow morning. Exactly. Conference. Business. Exactly. Very nice. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. Remember, practice this out loud. This is supposed to be a workout, but a workout for your mouth. The business conference starts tomorrow morning. How about this? So here, this upside down E, when you see this, this means you should produce it as a schwa sound, which is intra, interested, interested, interest, interested, different. So this E in the middle is not pronounced. And then this E at the end is pronounced as an unstressed schwa in different. Because again, we have let's look at this. Rent, ent, rent, the rent. Rent is if you have an apartment and you give money to the owner every month, that's rent. Rent. It's a more stressed sound. Ent, ent. But at the end of different, rent, different, it's an unstressed sound. It's that schwa sound, which is why we have that upside down E, which represents the schwa. The rent is different. The rent is different. I'm interested in a different apartment downtown. Let's keep going. Oh, how about this one? So we have every. So everyone, but let's just forget about one. And then we have every. It's two sounds. That E in the middle is not pronounced. Every. Everyone has a favorite. Two sounds. So just like chocolate, that middle O is not pronounced. Favorite. Vrit. That might be hard for you. Favorite. favorite, family, family. What do you notice? That I in the middle is not pronounced. Family, family, family. Restaurant, restaurant. So the AU is not pronounced. Restaurant, restaurant. This is typical of American pronunciation, where many sounds in a sentence will have drop sounds, change sounds, or connected sounds. Everyone has a favorite family restaurant. Everyone has a favorite family restaurant. I would not put a slight because then it would sound like favorite, favorite, favorite. So it's the difference between 3 sounds and 2 sounds. Favorite, 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 favorite. That doesn't sound American to me. Favorite, favorite, 2 sounds. Indeed, a lot of sounds are left out. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're enjoying it. And we go live on this day, Tuesday, and it is 8 o'clock Eastern time, which is New York City time. Now, this one, the camera, 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 camera. Exactly. This happens in every language. I have learned French and Spanish as second languages, and let me tell you, there are a lot of changes that take place in those languages when you're speaking. I'm sure this happens in every language. Native speakers don't realize this because we don't learn this. It happens naturally. When you study a language, you learn all the changes that take place. The camera and memory card are in a separate backpack. Camera, separate. So here, camera, separate. 2 sounds. The camera and memory. This is where the O here, I could have added this. Memory. So here, memory. That middle O will sound more like an memory. Sometimes that sound will be dropped and it will just sound like memory, memory. So it is possible to drop that sound and just have 2 sounds, memory, memory, memory. The camera and memory card are in my separate backpack. So notice again, we have that ATE at the end, which is pronounced as it, separate, separate, separate. But there's also the difference between the verb form and the adjective form. Because you can say, let's separate the separate parts. Separate is a verb, to separate. Let's separate. So 1 here, 1 there. Let's separate the separate parts. So there's a difference in pronunciation between the verb and the adjective. So this is a good practice sentence as well. Remember, these are daily practice sentences that you can say to improve your pronunciation. And make sure you shadow my pronunciation. Let's separate the separate parts. Let's separate the separate parts. Let's separate the separate parts. The camera and memory card are in my separate backpack. Let's keep going. And we'll talk about linking words together, which is, again, standard in American pronunciation and something that you should be comfortable with. Now, even if you aren't able to produce the sounds exactly in the same way, it's still important to understand these changes because it will help with your listening skills as well. So here, we're going to talk about linking, which is connecting sounds together. Can you send it over? Send it over. So here we have the T, but it's between two vowel sounds, I, O. So it's going to sound like a soft D. Can you send it over? Send it over. So those three sounds will not sound like da, da, da. It will sound like da, da, da. Send it over. Send it over. Send it over. Can you send it over as soon as you finish? Now, not every sound can be linked because linking is a natural thing that happens based on whatever sounds are side by side. So side by side, you can link from certain vowels to certain consonants, but not all vowels or consonants and not all consonants. Can you send it over as soon as you finish? Exactly. Send it over. Send it over like one word. Send it over. Send it over. So just repeat that, everyone. Send it over. Send it over. Send it over. Can you send it over as soon as you finish? How about this one? This is a very common one. So here we have the K sound, but it's transferred to the next sound in order to link it together. And it is also becoming that soft D, the flap T, because it's between vowel sounds. Pick it up. Pick it up. So when you're practicing pronunciation, practice slowly. And then you can keep going and say it faster and faster and faster. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. But you can start slow. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. I'll pick it up on my way home from work. I'll pick it up on my way home from work. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. So then you can start practicing faster and faster and faster. I'm so glad you're enjoying the way I'm teaching pronunciation. I always wish that when I was learning second languages, like I mentioned, French and Spanish, pronunciation is generally not a focus of language teaching. But then, like I said, learning pronunciation is so important to also learn to improve your listening skills so you can understand how this will sound in real English or real French or real Spanish, which is very different from textbooks because I've studied those languages in the textbooks and they're not the same as the way they're spoken in the real world, let me tell you. And the same goes for English. I'm so glad. I'll pick it up on my way home from work. Here we go. We need to, so notice, to. To, when it's a preposition, will often just become that unstressed to. Need to, need to. We need to come up with the. So notice, come up will sound like come up, come up, come up. With the, with the, with the. Let's go back to this quickly because yes, I hear this a lot. All. It's because it's that dark L. Okay? All. You have, for pronunciation, you have to look at your mouth position. All, 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 all. I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. So it's that dark L. That can be why it's difficult to pronounce. We need to come up with the. We need to come up with a. We need to come up with a. We need to come up with a better solution. We already talked about better, 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 better solution. We need to come up with a better solution. We need to come up with a better solution. I'm so glad you're enjoying the explanation. Butter is also pronounced with the D's for sure. Better, butter. Better, butter. Better, butter. You'd better buy butter. You'd better buy butter. What did I just say? You'd better buy butter. So you can study that pronunciation. How about this one? This is easier. Please take a look at. Take a look at. Take a look at. Exactly. You'd better buy butter. You'd better buy butter. Don't forget that you'd. Because you better, you had better. You'd better. You'd. You got it, Natalia. You'd. You'd better. And yeah, exactly, Captain. And exactly, Alexander. You'd. Andrew, great job. You'd better buy butter. You'd better buy butter. Please take a. So that A sound just connected on and is take a. Look at, cat. Look at the updated sales report. And notice updated, dated. So this T in updated is going to be a soft D. Updated, dated, dated, updated. So it will sound like up, dated. Updated, updated, updated. You could also do outdated, outdated as well. So updated, outdated. You could do that as well. Exactly. Updated, updated. Please. Hi. Hey, Jackie. So how do you distinguish between you had and you would? It's the grammar, the context. So grammatically, you wouldn't say you would better buy butter. That's not grammatical. So the only option grammatically is you had. So a native speaker doesn't need to, that's all a native speaker needs, is they hear the sentence and they understand what word it is based on the context. Because just like if you're putting puzzle pieces together, you know that, okay, this piece doesn't fit here. Well, that's how native speakers understand words. We understand that based on the grammar, based on the sentence structure, only certain words will fit. That's how we distinguish. Oh, I'm so glad. Yes, I remember after 5 years of learning French in a classroom, finally, one teacher taught me how to connect sounds and how to actually sound French when I'm speaking French, because it's just not a focus. So I'm glad you're learning this. That's great. I'm so glad you're enjoying the lessons. Please take a look at the updated sales report. Let's keep going. I left an extra. I left an extra. So notice this an extra. This is really important because to smooth it out, to make it sound da rather than da, 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 you're going to take that N and you're going to hold it. An extra. An extra. I left an extra copy on your desk. 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 When you're practicing pronunciation, hold out the sounds longer. It will really help that connection between your brain and your mouth. So you can say an extra. That's not how you would say it in conversation. That's practice. An extra. You can exaggerate it, hold it out. And then once you get more comfortable, say it faster, 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 and then natural. An extra, an extra, an extra, an extra. I left an extra. But start slow, really over exaggerate those sounds. Now let's look at reductions and weak forms. These are ones that students generally know. They'll be easy for you, don't worry. You know this one. But I want you to understand that gonna is not actually a word in a dictionary. It's simply a pronunciation change that takes place naturally. And it takes place naturally because it's easier for our mouth to pronounce. That's the only reason why. I'm gonna check my schedule before I confirm. I'm gonna. Now, sometimes students will write it incorrectly because it's not actually a word. You will see it all over social media, all over text messages, because we write comments on social media the way we speak, and I text my friends the way I speak. That's why we use these in messages. But in any kind of writing that's for a business purpose, even semi-formal, you won't use this because it is slang. I'm going to check my schedule before I confirm. I'm going to check my schedule before I confirm. Now here, have to. This is just more of a linking together, but have to is one of the most common connections. Have to. We have to. We have to leave a little early to avoid the traffic. So little, little. Notice how that's pronounced. Little, little. So little, little. Now so here, little is pronounced with D's in the middle because those T's become D's. Little, little. Sometimes native speakers will reduce it even further and say lil, lil, lil early, lil early. Like it's so unstressed, you almost don't hear it. Now, how does a native speaker hear it? Again, like I said before, context. We have to leave a little early. I don't really need to hear the word little. I just need to understand that, okay, leave early and there's a word that begins with an L. Well, obviously it's little. So native speakers just understand based on context. It's like putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Exactly. Have to. Have to. Gotcha means different things based on context, but it means understand. I gotcha. I understand what you're saying. It can also mean I'm there to support you as well. So it really just depends on context. We have to leave a. Very nicely done because we have leave a, va, leave a, leave a. Very nice. You found another connection there. We have to leave a little, little, little early to avoid the traffic. Very nice. Let's keep going. So here, want to, wanna, and then do you can just sound very quick. Do you wanna? Do you wanna? Again, native speakers, we don't need to hear the sounds fully to understand the meaning. I can just hear a D at the beginning and understand it's a question because the pieces of the puzzle, what else would it be? So that's why we don't need to hear it fully in order to understand. So students, they try to focus on understanding each individual word. That's important, but you have to understand the meaning based on the context. And you don't have to understand every word in order to understand the meaning. And you can look to context to understand the words or to guess the words based on what you hear. Do you wanna grab some coffee after the meeting? Do you wanna grab some coffee? Do you wanna grab some coffee? Do you wanna grab some coffee? Do you wanna grab some coffee after the meeting? After the meeting. And this T in meeting is going to be that soft D. Meeting, 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 ding, ding, meeting. Do you wanna? Do you wanna? Do you wanna grab some coffee after the meeting? So should have is going to sound like should've, of, or shoulda. Shoulda. So should've is a little more stressed and shoulda is more unstressed. I should have replied to that message yesterday. So that was more stress. I should have, should have, should have. I should have. I should have replied. 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 Now with more unstressed, I shoulda replied. I shoulda replied. I shoulda replied. I shoulda replied. Shoulda replied. I should have replied to that message yesterday. How about this? Could you? The dy is going to produce a J sound. Could ya? Could ya? You could also say could you, Jew, Jew, Jew. Could you? Could ya? Could you? Could ya? So Jew is the more stressed. Could you? And then ja is the more unstressed. Could you? Could ya? Could you help me? Could you help me? Could you help me? Could you help me? So that's how it will sound. It will not sound like, could you help me? Unfortunately, wouldn't it be great? It'd be so much easier to understand. Now let's move on to stress, rhythm, and intonation. We've already been talking about this, especially when we talked about the reduced vowel sounds, because that has to do with stress, rhythm, and intonation. So this is how English goes like this. It doesn't go like this, and it doesn't go da, 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 da. It goes da, 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 da. That's how English goes. So could you explain what happened with the customer's order? So here, the words that are capitalized, uppercase, are the more stressed things that you hear. Could you explain? Explain. So within the word explain, the X is fast. Da-da. Explain. 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 Da-da. Explain. Could you explain what? So, what as an entire word is going to be very quick. What happened? Happened. Now, the entire word happened is going to be more stressed within this entire sentence because it's the main verb, is what you want the audience to hear the most. Could you explain what happened with the customer's order? Order. Order. Yeah, with the. Very nice. There's definitely connected speech here as well. Could you explain what happened with the customer's order? How about this? I really. Now, really is a word that's there to add emphasis because you can say, I appreciate, but you want to make appreciate sound stronger. Now, if you're going to add really to make it sound stronger, to emphasize appreciate, it also makes sense that you're going to emphasize the word really. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. That's not a requirement, it's just generally done. I really appreciate. 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 So notice you hear this re sound. Appreciate. She ate. I really appreciate your help with this project. So help is also going to just be louder compared to the other words. I really appreciate your help with this project. And project is the noun, so the stress will be on the first sound because this word is also a verb. But as a verb, the stress will be on the second sound, which is okay. So if you have a screen and you have a device, you can use this verb. I'm just writing it out. 1 second. So here's the verb and the noun. We need to project the project. So a projection screen, so where you have a device that will show the presentation on the screen, we need to project the project. So that's the verb, second syllable, and the noun is the first syllable. We need to project the project. I'm so glad you're enjoying this lesson, and it's great having you here for the first time. I really appreciate your help with this project. Let's keep going. Are you available? Available. So when I see the word, think of what sound you hear more. Available, available, available. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, available, da-da-da-da, available, available. Available for a quick call. So both of these are only one syllable. So there's no stress, but the entire word can be emphasized. Quick call, quick call. Yeah, you're right. We can put that together. So we can use that k sound for call. Quick call, quick call, quick call, quick call. Hey, Manuel. Great having you here. Sorry you had to fight against traffic, but it's great having you here. Are you available for a quick call this afternoon? Afternoon. Afternoon. Exactly, Julia. Better late than never. Better late than never. Better late than never. Better late than never. Very nice. Are you available for a quick call this afternoon? Afternoon. So you hear the word noon more than after. After is two sounds. After, after. So we have da da da, afternoon. Da da da, afternoon. 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 Da da da. We need the final numbers before Friday morning. So here, the words that are entirely in bold, this is your choice, but you can emphasize those entire words just to make sure those are heard more, simply so they're more emphasized. We need the final. But then we have numbers. There's two sounds, numbers, and it's pronounced as dada. Numbers, numbers, numbers. The is not reduced to ah. It's the. We need the. The. It's not. Ah is the article ah. It's not the. We need the final numbers before Friday. Dada. Friday. Friday. Friday morning. Morning. Dada. We need the final numbers before Friday morning. How about this? That sounds, da da, that sounds like a good idea. So here we have the I in idea is fast. Idea. But let's check the budget. So you have the sound on the first. So we have budget. And notice that G-E-T is pronounced as jit. Budget. And then first, you might emphasize that entire word. That sounds like a good idea, but let's check the budget first. And that's our class today. Remember, You have to go back and shadow and practice. This is a workout. You don't just do a workout once, you do it again and again and again because you know every time you do it, you're going to improve your strength. Well, the same is true for your mouth. You need to do it again and again and again and again because it's a workout. And you got to work out your mouth to improve your pronunciation. Remember, you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to sound fluent and confident. You can get this for free on my website. And you can also just look for the link in the description. And yes, Manuel, I'm sorry you were only here right at the end, but it was great seeing you, even just for a minute. Exactly. It's a workout. And if you want to keep working out your mouth and your brain and all areas of your English, well, then you can do that in my program, the Finally Fluent Academy. This is a complete program to help you understand real English, the English you hear on movies, TV, YouTube, and the real world. And also for you to sound fluent like a native speaker and get amazing results in only 90 days. You can look for the link in the description and also go to my website to learn more. And that's our class today. So put yes, yes, yes in the comments if you enjoyed it. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, everyone. You're very welcome. Bye, Natalia. Thanks for participating. Thanks, Julia, for your support. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Woohoo. Yes, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for participating. Oh, that's amazing. Well, we'll keep practicing together. Woohoo. Awesome, everyone. I'm really glad you enjoyed this. Bye, everyone. See you next time. Have a great day. Have a great week. See you in my next lesson. My lesson tomorrow is going to be awesome, so make sure you watch it. Bye.